Hey, my friends, Greg Denny again. What kind of life do you want to live? I know it seems like an odd question, and very few people actually even stop to think about it or consider it. But I want to really ask you, what kind of life do you want to live? It's interesting that when we even pause to think, oh, wait a minute, what do I want my life to be like? What do I want my personal legend and legacy to be? And what kind of life do I want to live? We might even be like, well, what are you even talking about? Because most of us grow up living in a reactionary life. We just are reacting to what happens. And we're not really proactive about making life a certain way for ourselves. And so we end up reacting to what's going on, and we're following the scripts that we've been handed or societal expectations. And we just kind of roll along through life like, well, we'll do this. Like, and a question like this throws you off guard. Like, what are you talking about? I'm going to go to school, get good grades, get a job, and work until I retire, and then do some fun things. And that's kind of the plate we've been handed. But I want to really ask you, what kind of life do you want to live? Do you want to live a heroic life? Then you have to face your fears. Do you want to live a meaningful life? Then you have to spend your time doing things that are fulfilling. Do you want to live a deep life? Then you have to pursue things that make you uncomfortable. Do you want to live a legendary life? Then you have to take risk and you have to make sacrifices. But a lot of us, inadvertently, unconsciously, we don't know any better. We often don't even think about it. We don't even pause to say, what are these thoughts and actions and habits really leading to? Because when we choose our path, we've chosen our destination, but most of us don't even think about the path. And often it's been a path we've been handed. And so we don't pause and say, well, I chose this, because we've just been on it. And by the time we become conscious, some of us come to some consciousness in our teens and 20s or 30s. Some of us maybe haven't become conscious yet. And this video is going, what are you talking about? Except you guys are awesome. You've probably been thoughtful about this already, but many people aren't. They haven't yet have had the awakening to this consciousness of, wait a minute, I have the unbelievable privilege and responsibility to live the kind of life that I want to live. But what's interesting, my friends, and sometimes tragic, is that the day-to-day thoughts and actions and habits come to a sum total. When added up, they determine the kind of life we want to live. And many of us, without really thinking about the consequences, we choose comfort over challenge. We choose entertainment over depth. We choose fun over fulfilling. And we choose to play it safe instead of take on the risks and sacrifices that come with a deep, meaningful, heroic life. Many of us choose to hide behind our fears and to justify and rationalize and make excuses of why we're not doing the heroic thing. And so at the end, we didn't live the heroic life, we lived an afraid life. At the end, instead of being fully fulfilled and filled with meaning and depth, realized, well, I just kept seeking out comfort and I kept trying to play it safe. And I ended up kind of inadvertently choosing the less challenging life, because challenges, they look so uncomfortable, right? You know what I'm saying? And so I want to ask you and invite you with me to evaluate our actions day in and day out, because they literally are determining what kind of life we're living. We literally choose with our actions. And so coming full circle, when I ask, what kind of life do you want to live? Well, you're living the life you choose to day in and day out. And it's our actions that are choosing for us. And so I hope you'll pause with me and really get clear about what kind of life you want to live. And that in that quiet, soulful moment, when you say, no, I want to live an extraordinary life. I want to live a deep life. I want to live a meaningful and fulfilling life, that you'll also realize in that moment that you'll willingly choose challenge, that you'll willingly choose discomfort over comfort, that you'll willingly choose risk for the reward over safety for the false security, right? Because it's this false sense of security. There's no real such thing as security. And so we go for it. And we dig in and we make the sacrifices. And we have children and we raise them. And we pursue the things that are right, that actually have a really high price ticket on them because they're right. Not because they're easy, but because they're right. And we choose to defend the things that need to be defended and promote the things that need to be promoted. And we chase down our dreams. We boldly and courageously face our challenges, because every day we consciously and deliberately choose to live a life that really matters. And we think about impact, and we think about influence. And we're constantly doing the calculations of the sum total, the equation that will add up to be our life. Whoa, I know this stuff is like, these are big questions and big idea, but I want each of us to be living consciously, deliberately, intentionally, so that we are day in and day out choosing the kind of life we really want to live. Because your life and my life will be exactly what we make of it. So let's make it awesome. Reach upward.